We're going to start off with our approach. We're going to just land like a butterfly, make our initial contact. Very slowly, as full contact comes into the palm, we're going to just start with little circles. Hopefully I'm speaking loud enough to be heard. I do have a spa voice, so... And as we come through and just kind of make little circles through, just getting that stuff relaxed. And everybody's going to have different things that they prefer. So some of your clients are going to prefer like a deeper touch, like that. And they're going to be like, "Arr." And some of them are just going to really like a light touch that's just soothing and reassuring. And you just got to kind of watch their reactions to figure out, you know, what's really knocking them and zonking them out and what's waking them back up. And as I mentioned before, there are all kinds of acupressure points along this area and throughout the rest of the scalp. Sometimes you may feel like you are drawn to a particular area for no reason. That may be because it's an acupressure point that is asking for attention. So don't ignore it when you feel like you're called somewhere, because it could be important. And nice general relaxation. I'm going to come down here and do a little bit of lymphatic stimulation through the collarbone. Just kind of open that up. When you're doing the lymphatic stimulation, you really only need to kind of hook into the skin, pull it, let it stretch, and then let it go. Doing this is going to give it a bump, and your lymphatic system normally beats at 10 to 12 beats per minute. Doing this kind of stimulation through here is going to increase that tenfold. So that's going to come up to 100 to 120 beats per minute. After I've stimulated in that area, I'm going to crawl back up in here, and I'm doing things in a different order on her than I did on you. But again, as I said, you could do it in any order. And we're getting up in the occipitals, just kind of letting them melt over the fingertips. The slower you kind of melt into them, the less chance that you're going to startle the nervous system or hurt them. I've actually been able to get like really intense pressure on people with super tender occipitals by just creeping in like a ninja. So the slower you go in, the more receptive the body is going to be, and the more it's going to invite you in. And right through here, we're just doing little micro frictions. How's that feeling?
It's very nice.
And you just listen, and as you kind of like nudge the head, see, I'm just like very gently moving it. If her neck was stiffer, she would just be solid and she wouldn't move when I did that. So then I would have to get back up in the occipitals and release them. But you know when you've released stuff, because the head will just flow and move position really easily. Over here we've got a little bit of a restriction, so I'm doing a pin and roll basically, like how I had my middle finger right up in that little nook for you, and see that just released a bit. And you get in there and you just like allow it to sit on your fingertip, and I'm not even like pushing up into it, I'm just letting its own weight like melt over my finger. And then as it's doing that, when I change the position of the head, it changes the angle that we're pushing on the muscle at. And as I come back and roll, I'm going to do that same thing where I release the pressure on the middle finger and then put the pressure into the first finger and slide everything to the side. And then as I come back through, I catch it from the back and roll it back this way again. So what it looks like on this side would be right in here, and mostly the middle finger making contact. Let it roll up onto the middle finger. Let it breathe and melt over. Maybe even change the angle a little bit. Find where the most tension is and just let it sit right where the most tension is. Couple of nice breaths, maybe small micro movements just to kind of test its boundaries and see where it's at. And then as I come back through here, I'm going to release the pressure on the middle.